Welcome to the Guaranteed Growth Podcast. Let's grow together.
How does being critical and judgmental stop us from succeeding? Number one, what we put out there is what's going to come back. What we put out there, look at Matthew 7:2. For you will be treated as you treat others. The standard you use in judging is a standard by which you will be judged. This relationship principle will work for us or against us. Nothing good will come back to us if we continue to be critical and judgmental. It's all saying, if you're judging others, if you're critical of others, what's going to come back to you? Criticism and judgmentalism. Now, understand this. Jesus is teaching his disciples people skills. He's going to give them an assignment to reach the whole world. And what he's saying is, you're not going to reach the whole world being critical, judgmental, and condemning people. That's not how you're going to do it. As a matter of fact, if you do that, I'm going to show you how it's going to work. What you put out is going to come back. Now, this principle can work for us or against us. You determine what you want to come back by determining by what you're going to be putting out. If we're gossiping, what's going to come back? If we're positive, what's going to come back? It's going to come back. So whatever if you want love, what do you got to do? Put some love out there. You want forgiveness, mercy. What do you want to do? Put some mercy out there. I remember when me and Lisa went to eat some Chinese food, and that's one of my favorite foods. And me and Lisa, we went to this real nice restaurant. As a matter of fact, it's Panda Inn. And this is what happened. The waiter dropped hot tea all over Lisa, like really bad. We had to walk out of there. She was scourged. We had to take her to the emergency room. And then this is what everybody said. Man, you got to sue him. Right? And I knew it was a mistake. And I thought about it because I know this principle, what I put out is going to come back. And I go, there's a lot of great things I'm going to do, and there's going to be a lot of mistakes I'm going to make. And this is my opportunity to sow into my future. So when I make a mistake, I get some mercy instead of a lawsuit. So you always have to be thinking about, what am I putting out there? Because understand, what you put out there is going to come back. See, if you don't like the results you're getting back, then you have to start looking, what am I putting in? You can change your marriage. You can change your relationships. You can change your relationship with your coworkers by just doing this. And you can make your relationships 50% better by just every single one of us making the choice that I'm going to invest the right things so I can start getting the right things back. Do you believe in this principle? I do. It's a principle. So how does being critical, how is it judgmental, detrimental to our success? Number two, being critical will make us cynical. What does cynical mean? That means distrustful of the motives of others. It also means pessimistic. A person who sees or anticipates the worst. How can we be successful if we become cynical? That means we don't trust anyone. How can we have healthy relationships if we constantly have our guard up? Pessimism, it all means this: a person who sees or anticipates the worst. This is the worst thing about being critical. It starts becoming part of your character. Now, if it becomes part of your character, you, instead of anticipating victory, anticipating good, anticipating restoration, anticipating health, we're anticipating sickness, we're anticipating failure, we're anticipating defeat. And how can we be successful if we're anticipating the wrong things? Success starts with having some type of optimism, some type of faith, right? Number three, how being critical and judgmental is a detriment to our success. It makes people defensive, not receptive. Almost everyone is fully aware of their flaws, so probably it isn't helpful for us to keep pointing them out. We want people to be receptive, not defensive. Have you ever had this? Someone point out your faults, and the first thing you do is put your guard up? Don't we all do that? You're always, and you go, no, I'm not always. You're always. And imagine that this is how we're communicating. We're a manager, we're communicating this way. Let's say you're a salesperson and you've become cynical And when, see, the problem is when you become cynical, you become sarcastic, and even your statements are accusatory. And you think you're telling a joke, and you're actually putting people on the defense and maybe even offending them. But number 4, we can destroy a person's self-esteem and self-worth by being critical. And I want you to think about this. When we're dealing with people, we're not usually dealing with people of logic. We're dealing with people of emotions. People are emotional. Okay, so we got to be careful with the words. We can hurt someone so easily. And I'm not talking about we can't correct. I'm not talking about we can't identify some things. But understand this, we do it in a spirit of love. Okay? Number 5, complaining attracts a spirit of destruction. Look at the scripture in 1 Corinthians 10:10. It says, you must stop complaining, as some of them were doing, and were annihilated by the destroyer. This is a principle. Whatever you're complaining about, you are destroying. You'll never have a great relationship if all you're doing and we're doing is complaining about it. So, see, because what is it doing? It's attracting the spirit of what? Destruction. I know what's going to be destroyed next in a person's life by what they're complaining about. If you're complaining about your marriage, I already know there's a spirit of destruction coming to destroy your marriage. If you're complaining about your job, there's a spirit of destruction ready to destroy. If you're complaining, whatever you're complaining about, get ready for a spirit to come in and help you finish that thing off. Wow. So how do we overcome being critical and judgmental? We got to work on this. I got to work on seeing the positive in my wife. I got to work on seeing the positive in my kids. Because it's easy to notice that they didn't clean their room again. It's easy to notice that. Matter of fact, we could get so locked into that we can't see anything else good they're doing. All right? And some of us have a list of the things we keep looking at, and God says, destroy that list. And now let's start a new list of potential. Let's start a new list of gratitude. Start making a list of the good things in your spouse, the good things about your job, the good things about your life, the good things about your kids, the good things about your community. Focus.
Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to share and subscribe.